Hello, since we seem to be very light on actual football news due to All-Star Weekend, we got the Pro Bowl, we got the NHL All-Star Game, we got the NBA All-Star Game, all things I don't really care for. So in the actual news, I can do this in about 5 seconds. Eric Wood, the center for the Buffalo Bills, has retired after being diagnosed with a neck injury. We wish him all the best, and hopefully, that neck injury gets taken care of, and whether he ever plays again or not, that's doubtful, but we do wish him a speedy recovery. Fandom thrown out the window when somebody's got an injury of this magnitude. I don't care what team he plays for. So, anyway, that was it. That was the only kind of thing that was in the top 30 on Google Trends. So it shows you that how many people don't care about the Pro Bowl or even the Super Bowl right this second. If you saw my first video, College Football Swan Song, if you saw it all the way through, you're a glutton for punishment. Because I will even say that was terrible, but it was my first video and I was still kind of learning things. But if you recall, I gave some off-the-cuff ideas for the mess that we call the college football playoffs and how to fix them. And I said that later on I would do a video. And so this is what I'm doing now, since I unexpectedly got today off because I have to rehab my finger. I don't know if you could see it or not, but no, that's because it's on the wrong side facing the camera. But if you can see that, it hurts. I work as a dishwasher, so it's hard for me to grab stuff right now. And so they gave me a couple days off in order to get that healed up. So, as I was saying, I came to the conclusion that, as everybody else in the world has, that an 18 playoff would be the best and most logical way to crown a college football champion. I think that was obvious. But the criteria to select these teams is pretty much what's going to be debated. Even this video isn't going to settle that. I don't expect it to. But this is just my personal opinion, and I even broke it down on the whiteboard here. So yes, get ready for shaky pointer work again. But I did this with 3 goals in mind. 1, get the best and most deserving teams as possible. Best and most deserving. I'm going to focus on those 2 things specifically. And number 2, and I think the most important thing over even getting the best teams in, is to preserve the integrity of the conference championships. If you're not having to play a conference championship game and you are getting in over a conference championship team, then what's the point of having a conference championship game at all? And number 3, allow a group of 5 champion to play in the playoffs. Because if any year would warrant it, this was the year. UCF earned the right to be at least a top 10 team, if not a top 4 team. Because I can see a 1-loss team getting over them. I could see maybe even a 2-loss. But when you're putting 3-loss teams over an undefeated team, I think that 0 at least has to stand for something. And I think over a 3-loss team like Auburn, a 2-loss team like Miami, who lost to Pitt, but they played the conference championship, so I can kind of stomach that, but. And I can even live with it coming at the expense of a Miami and Auburn, where I ranked them 7th to 8th on the Raider top 10. So without further ado, we're going to the board. So I put seeds 1 through 5 are the Power 5 champions. ACC was Clemson, Ohio State, USC, Georgia, and Oklahoma. Group of 5 champion gets the 6th seed, that being UCF, and then 2 wildcard teams automatically get 7 and 8. Which I picked from Wisconsin, Alabama, Auburn, and Miami. My top 10 was Clemson before the bowl season. Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Miami, Auburn, UCF, and USC. So the automatics would be Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia 3. Ohio State would then get the 4 seed. USC would get the 5 seed, even though they'd be down here at 10. My UCF group of 5, they'd get the 6 seed, and then my 2 wild cards, Bama, Wisconsin. I was trying to see if it's noticeable on the screen here, and I guess it is. I mean, I could read it a little bit from, and I'm a pretty decent distance away from the camera. So then it would lead. This is not like a predictive thing. This is just how I would like to see it happen. So you know, that's why you got the little smiley face here. I made the U and UCF a little smiley face with the tongue sticking out. Suck it, Bama. So, you know, I had Clemson. So my 1-8 would end up being Clemson against my wildcard 2. Wisconsin, these would be played at campus sites. Obviously, it's a higher seeded team. So Clemson would host Wisconsin. Ohio State would host USC. Georgia would host UCF between the hedges, and Oklahoma would host Alabama, who would be the wild card 1, who would match up with the number 2 seed, 3, 6, and 4 and 5. So then I got Clemson. So because this is the way I wanted to see it, Clemson would win. Ohio State, USC. You know, that's just kind of like gag. 3, 6, you know, I'd love to see UCF. 7, and then Bama beat Oklahoma. Then because that's the only kind of way I could see UCF and Bama doing it. And then, you know, the higher seed would get to pick what bowl game. Clemson would pick the Sugar Bowl, sending UCF and Alabama into the Rose Bowl. And then UCF beats Bama because hashtag Night Swamp Bama. Clemson beats Ohio State. And UCF beats Clemson. And then UCF can have their parades, give their banners. Actual meeting. Alright, well, thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time.